Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another Unplugged live session. I'm Daniel Rodrigues from the Portugal Tours. I'm just waiting for my colleagues to join, and we're going to start our live in a minute. Let's see if Gabriel's over here already. Having some technical issues over here. Let me see if we can add Gabriel. He's having some issues. I think we might have Gabriel over here.
Hello, hello.
Okay, I see you here. Good evening.
Good evening, Lunel.
There you are.
Good evening, everyone.
Well, it's always a little bit of an issue, technicalities, but we are going over it.
Jana, the storm.
Yesterday, no, 2 days ago, I was trying to do some online transactions here when it was pouring rain, and in fact, the internet was very slow from different providers. But it's what it is. So we are here, and we are going over all of these limitations. So we try our best. Good evening, Vitor. Welcome.
Good evening. Good night, Vitor.
Let me just put over here. So, how have you been, Gabriel? Feeling well?
Oh, good. Yeah, quite good. It's already late here in Portugal, so sometimes it looks like we are a bit tired.
I started early. Tomorrow gonna start early. The next day gonna start earlier. So it is what it is. Okay.
But I always tell my guests, I'm an early riser.
Mm-hmm.
So when after sunset, I'm a bit like the chicken. I just wanna sleep or something. So, but here we are. Let's do our thing.
So, today it might be just me and you. So I'm Leonel Rodrigues from Desirable Portugal Tours. With me, Gabriel Lima from GL Tours based in the Algarve. Sergio might be offline today. Having a little baby, it's not always so easy to deal with these things. But, we hope that everything gets sorted. And, let's move on. I'll start over here, and I want to address something that might be a little bit sensitive, controversial maybe, but we need to address the elephant on the room.
Yes.
It's been raining a lot. We've been having bad weather. I've been on the roads and off-road, so on tours and doing some research here and there. So I've been exploring a few areas around some known spots, and I've seen a lot of people walking around, sometimes not being very careful with what they've been doing. I've seen situations of people being driven around by tour vehicles, and they are standing while those vehicles are being driven. I've seen some vehicles that are carrying more passengers than what they are allowed. And Well, I'm going to address this with a few numbers, okay? And sorry if this is going to be a little bit too technical, but this kind of stuff needs to be brought up to discussion, because I've been one of the strong defendants of well, people traveling with insurances, people having the best insurance coverage while traveling abroad. But also, there's another issue, and this might be a hard thing to address, that has to do with how much does it cost if you need help in Portugal, and how much are you covered if you need help in Portugal. And this has been a battle for me, and I've been debating this. I've been investing a lot into insurance policies, to upgrade insurance policies. Some of the brokers, they cannot understand why does anyone want to pay more than what it's legally allowed, or sorry, legally obliged to have. The minimum amount coverages required by the Portuguese Tourism Board, they are very low, in my personal opinion. And I already had one or another case where we needed to well, to put the insurance to work. And the amounts that are well, minimally required, in my personal opinion, they are just, well, too low if you have any sort of emergency request. Okay, I'm going to give you one example, and I'm going to use the pricing of one of the well-established private hospital groups. I browsed this online, and just for a day of intermediate care in a hospital, they charge 975 euros. Okay, imagine this: you fall, you break a leg, whatever, you need a surgery. You need to stay 3 or 4 days under observation in a private hospital. Okay, and this is going to cost 4,000 euros roughly. And you might know how much is the minimum amount or that is required by the Portuguese Tourism Board for the insurance policies for the tour operators, tour providers, or touristic animation. Let's put it this way. Okay, the minimum required barely covers these 4 days and hospital. So what I've been watching, it's a part of several behaviors, okay, by tour operators or, well, drivers, whatever. It's also people that, just for fun, I would say, embark into this because someone told them there's no problem. You can stand up here while we drive, well, off-road. Oh no, we can carry an extra passenger. There's no problem. No one's gonna check that. Well, the bad news are, if something goes wrong, the insurance companies, they have people who are pro investigating this kind of things. They will ask a lot of questions. They will check a lot of things. And in case of doubt, they will say, sorry, there is no proof that that was a real accident, so we are not going to pay. Okay. And this even recently came on the news, not with a tour vehicle, but with someone that was carrying extra passengers in the vehicle. That is very recent on the newspapers, okay? And the insurance companies just said, sorry, we're not going to pay, okay? Because they were not following the legal road rules. So I know this is a very sensitive subject, but as well, tour operators who have a very conscious and safe approach to what we do, I already told a few people, sorry, I'm not going to do that because it's totally against the rules and it's not safe, and well, I'm not agreeing with that. But well, I see a lot of people being too permissive into this, because otherwise they compromise their business, they compromise their reviews, whatever. But at what cost? Okay, so this is something that in fact is I would say is increasing here and there, because competition is harder. There's plenty of new players in the market. and I see a lot of things happening. And we are just on the beginning of the high season. In fact, we are well at the end of what we can consider the low season. We've been having a lot of bad weather, and I've seen a few people slipping and falling, so on the pavement. Okay, and well, things can go really bad if there is no coverage for that. So more than having people well on the business being conscious about that, I really want to call the attention for people who in fact travel to Portugal and feel that well, nothing's going to happen. Oh, it just happened to the others. We'll take care, and well, we're fine. Well, sad to say that unfortunately accidents happen, and well, if it was predicted, okay. I'm just reading what Vitor is saying. Exactly, yeah. Yeah. In fact, unfortunately, that is a case, okay, Vitor. And I'm just going to go back to that in a minute, okay. But I was just saying that a lot of people think that things don't happen, accidents don't happen. Well, if it was predicted, there would never be an accident. Okay, it was something that was already a plan.
Yeah.
I just want to reply to Vitor. Okay. I was in Lisbon. I think it was on Thursday. Okay, I was with my colleague. We were making well some imagery. It was last week. Okay, and I was at the pickup point of one of the major tours, where every day hundreds of people are around there. Okay, and to be picked up for group tours. And I saw a couple with a baby, a toddler, probably, well, a year tops, okay? I would say like 10 to 12 months, at the door of a van, okay? The door of the van was open, and a guy on the phone, probably calling to the company, because they probably had informed me that he had a child, but they didn't inform me that it was a baby, okay? Because I know the policies of the company itself, okay? If there's a child, they will send a booster seat. Almost everybody has booster seats on the vans, but well, probably there was no child seat for, or appropriate child seat for that baby, okay? Well, I just walked by. I don't know how it went through, but I would guess, or I would rather say that probably, well, that kid went on a booster seat, because there was no way to bring a child seat ASAP to the place, and probably the other people were not well waiting for a long time to have a child seat provided. But this is another story, okay? And Vitor, you are pointing it out very well. And well, you know this way better than me. You've been in the business for much longer than me, and we shared a lot of thoughts through the years. This happens everywhere, okay? So my question is really this, and to finish my well my first part of our life. What is the price of safety? Okay, a lot of people try to save money in a lot of things. People want low cost here, low cost there, the cheapest option of this, the cheapest options of that, and they put their safety in danger. Okay, and this is a very hard. Margaret is asking, would it not be the parents' responsibility to have the proper car seats? Yes and no, because when you hire a tour and you inform that you have a child from a certain age, and probably they informed that there was a child from a certain age on the booking platform, probably the booking platform didn't inform the provider that there was a child from that age. Okay, so I truly believe that the lack of information was not from the ones who booked the tour. The lack of information was somewhere in between the booking platform and the final provider. So that might have been, in fact, the argument that was going on back there. I didn't walk too close because I didn't want to. It was none of my business, but what I saw, I understood really what was going on. But when you book a tour and you inform that you have a child from a certain age, it's the tour operator's a responsibility to say, okay, I have the proper child seat or not. Okay, that's why, by example, in certain cases, some tour operators say we don't accept childs under certain age because or it's not allowed on the vehicle, or it's not. They don't have the necessary equipment for it. But that is also a good point. Okay, because in the end, it's the parents that should decide if they want to do it or not. But thank you for your input, Margaret. That is a very good point. But I left already here a few thoughts, and I know this is a quite controversial subject. Gabriel, I don't know what you want to add to this. You've been another person that has been defending a lot of these safety and insurance things. Go ahead.
I mean, yeah, this is a sensitive matter, but almost at any tour, all tours, I have a chance to talk with people about these things. First of all, when I'm tailoring a tour and then I have to ask for a rate, whatever, I include all these things. I mean, I'm not just a guy in a cafe or in a restaurant to just tell people, would you like to go on a tour? I'm going to take you somewhere else. It doesn't work like that. But first of all, this comes from my own, personality. It comes from my core. I really, that quote in English is better safe than sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I really take this for life. Maybe because I had already big losses, huge losses. Now I'm just remember, one big loss I had, and it was not in tourism, but it was related with work. But it works the same way because the insurances, when they have to pay something, they go and they dig quite well because they are always trying to find, fails, and then maybe they can run away from their responsibilities. Imagine,
Let me
for
let
instance,
me
a guy.
let me
Go
interrupt
ahead.
you. Let me interrupt you with something, okay? And sorry, I'm interrupting your thoughts.
No problem.
One of the amazing things of being a tour guide, it's the people we meet, okay? And I remember already some time ago, okay, nearly 2 years ago, I brought one person in a long journey, okay, in between cities, a whole day with a solo traveler, okay? And that person had a very important job that I never understood that it could happen or that someone could have that job. Someone that practiced medicine for a long time went to the other side of the barrier. She was an investigator for insurance companies and law firms to go against bad medical practices. So if you need to go against someone that had some bad practice on bad behavior professionally, okay, there was some law firms, there were some investigators searching who made it wrong, okay?
Oh yeah.
And this is how deep things can go. So imagining that things can go deep this way, you can imagine how deep the insurance companies go because it's their money that is put in
Yeah.
risk. And we are talking about millions in many cases, okay?
Yeah.
So this kind of stuff, it's very sensitive. And I see that most people are not aware of what they're doing. And this, somehow makes me, talk loud about this kind of things because we see these things happening everywhere and every day. So unfortunately, it's
Yeah.
what it is. But sorry I interrupted your
No,
thought.
no,
Okay,
no, no
no.
problem. No, no problem. Yeah, but because I can feel what you're feeling, you know. As a tour guide, I visit so many places, and the places they are packed with people. And sometimes I see, you know, other guides. It doesn't matter. It could be tuk-tuks, boat trips, whatever, jeep safaris. And sometimes even tomorrow, I'm going to visit the hills and the falls, and then I see these jeeps, and there are no seat belts. I don't even know exactly the laws about this. Maybe they don't have to use or whatever. But what I know is when something goes wrong, we are in trouble usually. And even if we have insurance, we're gonna struggle because, you know, these guys, they don't play around. They really go after us, and they will try to find something that makes them to save money. This happens. Now I have an example. For instance, I have my car. I bought my car and still under this guarantee. But the guys, they came after me and they asked me about the kind of diesel and the kind of whatever they, because the problem is quite big, the motor. So these guys, they don't play. And when it comes for safety, it's the same. I mean, um, imagine if I commit something that it's considered a bad approach of my hand, they're gonna just run away from their responsibilities, and I'm gonna be guilty. So now I can't even imagine what can happen if someone without license or insurance, because some guys, they have license but they don't have insurance. How can this happen? Because the insurance, it has to be renovated every single year. And some
Mhm.
guys, for the god's sake of having a number, they go there, they purchase the license, they pay 1 year, and they don't pay the next few years. So
Yeah.
some people, they are working with tour guides who don't have insurances, and some, they are popular on Facebook travel groups. I know because even 10, 12 days ago, I had a tour with a person who told me, who had a tour with someone, and then when she saw the RINT, so Registro Nacional de Turismo, so the tourism board, where we can really search and we can really find if our guides, they have insurances or not. She saw there a big red flag. This guy is not complying. So, and it's even funny because my guest, she works with cybersecurity.
Mhm.
So, but she did notice that he went on a tour with a guy without insurance. I mean, but ultimately, sometimes I hear people saying, but Gabriel, bad things can happen here and there. I know the chances of happening something bad, they are not as high as the chances of everything going well. But sometimes things happen. Like I was saying, when then yeah, then I was saying, and then you came with your talk about what you were saying about. I don't remember. I'm really tired.
Mhm.
But here's the thing. For instance, I lost my brother, and why? Because they just committed some mistakes. They play with their lives. No seat belts. The jeep turned around and they gone. And where's the insurance? Well, no seat belts, so there's no insurance. So I learned from a very early age that we can play with our lives. I mean, you can play. I mean, I love downhill, but I know when I'm cycling downhill, if something goes wrong, I'm going to pay the price. So the thing is, many times people, they are not aware about the danger they that might happen because they really trust people. So when it comes for professionals, we have the obligation, we have the responsibility to not deceive people. People's life, they are in our hands in a certain way. I'm driving a car with a family, babies, whatever. If I do something wrong, I'm going to be the responsible. Of course, bad things happen sometimes, some things we cannot control, but this is the reason we should have insurances, and we should have everyone covered and very well informed. So we have to tell people, with me, you can feel safe in case of something happens. Every time I send a rate, by the end of all this information and booking policies, whatever, my licenses are there, and what they can get from my license. For instance, there's a fund. When people they pay me a deposit, if happens something to me, people they can get this money back. So when someone send you a rate, when you go on a website, do you see there all these licenses? Do you see there all this information about the funds? Do you see all these informations about we are part of the tourism board? This is very important. Don't put your life in danger, because bad things happen. 3-4 years ago, there was a Jeep in Halt, and I know the guy quite well. The owner is a great guy. It's the owner, and something went bad because with so much rain, you know, we have these landslides. So the Jeep went to some place where he used to go a lot, and the Jeep simply there was just in a slide, and then turn around, and a French lady died. You can imagine. It was really, really bad. It came on the news. The guy is not in jail because the guy was covered by all insurances. I mean, because like I said, you know, you are driving a car, someone put a hand outside the window, something happens. Some things we cannot control, but we have to be, we have to have all these insurances, because people, they need to be covered, and we need to inform them. Well, we have a problem here in Portugal, and unfortunately, it's getting bigger. It's not just one problem. In many ways, we have problems, but let's not talk about politics, okay? This is totally forbidden, because of course we are a perfect country. But I mean, we have laws, but it's like we don't have enough people to check if who are following the law or not. And this is very unfair, because yeah, I have some friends also, they tell me, Gabriel, why are you paying this? Why you are caring about this? Because no one cares about this. Well, I care, because if happens an accident and someone die during a tour, or they go to a hospital, I'm not gonna even sleep well if I don't have everything covered. So this is common sense, it's responsibility. This is about having a good core. So Lionel, you can see when I start talking about this, lots of things came out, and I mean, it's it's unbelievable how some people, they really don't think about their own safety. And I'm talking about professional, local ones, and I'm talking also about people who are, and sometimes they just look for the price. Of course, some guys, they are cheaper because they don't comply with the laws. And then people, they take risks. Okay, ultimately, it's your responsibility, and of course, we are not God, so we're not going to judge you. But it's good to touch in these matters once in a while. Well, like just Pedro Ramon just said, all it takes is someone else to crash into you. Exactly.
Oh, yes.
You know, I'm driving. If someone crash into me, we're gonna have lots of problem.
I'm gonna I'm gonna give you an example.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Everybody sees pictures posted about people going here and there and doing a toast with the liquor, with this and with that. Okay. And this is a bit of a gray zone in our profession. Okay, we are considered professional drivers that, in certain conditions, by the law, the alcohol grade can be 0. Okay, but this is a little bit of gray zone on the rules. But you see a lot of people, drivers, guides, whatever you name it, doing toasts with the guests and posting that online. Okay, well, it's just a little shot of liquor. Okay, it's just a little glass of wine. It is whatever. Okay, but if things go wrong, that can be put against you. Okay, because you are a professional that should be following certain rules. And I'm saying this is on the gray zone because these regulations are not 100% established. So what do I do while I'm on tour? Sorry guys, but nothing, 0. Okay, and it's quite annoying sometimes that you cannot make a toast with your guests, but I'd rather be that way, because you never know, you just need a crazy guy to crash into you to be put in trouble. So this
Yeah.
is another thing, okay? And people think, oh, but no, there's no problem. So it's just a little thing. There's no problem, and
Yes,
that is the
let's
main
take
problem.
yeah,
Okay,
let's
it's
take
the
a
there's
ride
no
with a
problem.
friend, let's take a ride with a friend, and
Mhm.
then wow.
Yeah, you know that I'm a big off-road enthusiast. In fact, I get into tourism because of off-roading. Um, And well, I had different off-roaders through the years. You could find me up and down the hills where there would be some mud, some rocks, whatever. I worked in some Jeep tour companies, and I've seen a lot of things,
Exactly.
okay, that can easily go wrong,
Yeah.
professionally or just for fun, okay.
Mm,
So the problem is always about the consciousness of who is on the steering wheel, but also on the consciousness on the people that are sitting on the vehicle. And I say this without any problem. Well, if anyone any day well goes beyond limits, and I feel that their behavior it's not safe,
yeah.
okay. Well, the activity is over, the tour is over.
Yeah. Hmm.
So, but I don't see a lot of people doing this because that will create, well, bad reviews. It affects the business, and
Yeah,
well,
yeah, yeah,
there's
yeah.
no problem, So there are different kind of perspectives, different kind of concerns, but I felt that I needed to address this because I've been seeing a lot of things happening, and unfortunately, well, these things can go wrong really easy. And well, we are supposedly going to have another great year. There's a lot of people coming to Portugal again. The worst thing we could have would be, well, some bad news, some bad publicity about the tourism activities. Okay, you see here and there stuff that is happening abroad. Okay, there are some recent news of stuff that happened here and there. So we don't want
Hmm.
to have that kind of publicity about Portugal. So this is well my call of attention for all of these things, and well, I'll keep well preaching this kind of thing because I truly believe that well if you want to do things right, you will get somewhere. Okay. Well, people that just tend to be creative, bending the rules, well, they end up being caught somewhere. But
Yeah.
well, this is my way of being. Okay. So and well, time just flew by. I don't know if you want to add well
Yeah, just to finish,
something else,
it's
but please
been
go ahead.
yeah, just to finish. You know me for a few years,
Mm-hmm.
and you are really aware that I've been always an ambassador of following the rules, and some of I'm so glad that some of my nowadays friends and colleagues we work together, they at some point they improved because at some point they were lacking something, and many times we don't follow things because we don't know we have to follow. Like for instance, there's some things about the driver license that some guys they don't know about it, but I'm not going to talk about this here. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes it's not clear, the rules they are not clear, but when something happens then they become clear,
Yep.
and the guy, I mean, so to speak, the judge, they're gonna ask me, Gabriel, so you did know you have to have this B on your
Yeah.
driver
Yeah. Yeah.
license
Yeah.
to
I know what
drive
you mean.
kids, to drive passengers? You don't
Yeah.
have this, so now you are in trouble, right? So I mean, we have to be very aware
Yeah.
about
I know.
this. Of course, this is not the kind of matter.
Technicality. Yes.
Exactly. This is not the kind of popular conversations. We would love to talk about the weather. It would be way more popular. But this is the kind of thing that there's a niche of people who are very conscious about life in general, and I'm pretty sure they like to hear this kind of uh, things um, coming in out loud, and we are talking about this. So I'm pretty sure many people they really appreciate we've been talking about this. So man, from my end, I'm just finished too,
Well,
and
Thank you very
Next week,
much.
next week we'll be here.
Yeah, we'll be back next week. So I will be on tour on Monday as well. But of course, well, I will join well at 9:30 p.m. as
I'm
always.
gonna be on
Thank
tour on Monday.
you.
Yes, on Monday,
Thank you,
the
everybody,
17th.
for
Yeah.
watching. Thank you, everybody, for your insights, for your inputs. Okay. Well, I just want also to call the attention for people that might watch this later on. Um, I've been doing some videos on my YouTube channel, okay, not on the Portugal Unplugged, but on Desirable Portugal. I see a lot of people with trouble planning their journeys to Portugal, okay. And I recently got again to know some or to see some posts about people that got kind of scammed with online platforms buying tickets.
Oh,
They bought the
oh yeah.
tickets on the wrong websites. So, well, if you search on YouTube on Desirable Portugal, I have a video over there explaining all the procedures, which are the websites to buy tickets for monuments, for trains, for buses, and how to go around some of the procedures. I will do a few more in the near future, but well, this is not well the core of Portugal Unplugged. But most people end up traveling to Portugal and needing well help with these things. And it's so annoying to still see people that got scammed because they didn't know where to look for, what to search for as official websites to book their tickets. Okay, so just another heads up for that. Well, once again, thank you, everybody. We had great comments in here. Okay, thank you all who commented. You
Thank you.
enriched these lives with your inputs. And we'll be back next week, and hopefully with a little bit more sunshine. We don't like to talk about the weather, but this water has been so much needed. So
Yes.
mainly for you in the Algarve, I
Oh
really
yes.
well, feel happy for your
Yeah.
side that you might
Yeah.
finally solve well some of the problems you've been dealing over there for long. Okay.
Definitely.
So see you next week. Thank you, everybody. Good evening.
See you next week, guys. Have a
Thank you.
great week ahead. Bye bye.